Picture this. You walk into a store, excited about a purchase, only to be met with blank stares, shuffled between departments, and left feeling like an inconvenience. Sound familiar? Now, imagine the opposite. Walking into a business where every interaction feels effortless, where problems are solved before you even realize you have them, and where you leave thinking, I'd recommend this place to everyone. Here's the brutal truth. 80% of customers say the experience a company provides is as important as its products and services. Yet most businesses are hemorrhaging customers because they think customer service is just about being polite. It's not. It's about mastering a system. And by the end of this video, you'll have the exact framework that transforms ordinary interactions into customer loyalty goldmines. Let's be honest. Most days in a customer-facing role feel like you're a goalie in a penalty shootout, blindfolded. You're trying to defend your company's reputation while being pelted with problems you didn't create, armed with policies you didn't write, and judged by customers who only see one tiny, frustrating sliver of the entire operation. You know the intricate, behind-the-scenes dance required to get things done. You know about the overworked logistics team and the buggy software update from last Tuesday. Your customer knows only one thing. Their package is late, their service is down, or their expectations have been shattered. They see you, and in that moment, you are the company. The pain isn't just the angry customer, it's the feeling of powerlessness. But what if you could not only handle any customer, but turn their frustration into trust? What if you could navigate your own company's internal maze to get what you need? And what if you could do it all without that slow burn rage that ruins your commute home? That's not a fantasy. It's a skill set. And today, we're building it. The first rule of customer service mastery is to abandon your perspective. You are an insider, cursed with knowledge. To the customer, your organization isn't a complex ecosystem. It's a vending machine. They put in money and expect a specific product to come out. When it doesn't, they don't care about the machine's wiring. They just want to shake it until something works. Your job is to stop defending the machine and start getting them their product. With that mindset, we build your communication toolkit. Let's start with listening. It is not a passive activity. It is forensic analysis. The biggest listening mistake? Rehearsing your answer while the customer is still talking. You're not listening. You're just waiting for your turn to speak. Instead, practice active decoding. Paraphrase their problem back to them. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, you were promised a delivery on Tuesday, but the tracking link shows it hasn't even left the warehouse. This confirms you've heard them and, more importantly, understood them. Now, for speaking. Your words are a minefield. Innocent-sounding phrases are actually triggers. Banish these from your vocabulary immediately. I can't do that, our policy says, and you'll have to talk to another department. These are verbal dead ends. They scream, not my problem. Replace them with forward-moving language. Instead of I can't, say, here's what I can do. Instead of our policy says, try. Typically, the process for this is X. Let me see how I can apply that to your situation. You're not a policy robot. You're a navigator. Finally, you build Goodwill. This is your strategic reserve. The fastest way to build it? Use their name. People are neurologically programmed to respond to their own name. Can't remember names? Don't just repeat it once. Use it, associate it, and write it down. Okay, Sarah, I've got your file open. It sounds silly, but it works. This, combined with genuine appreciation, thank you for your patience while I sort this out, builds an emotional bank account. You will need to make withdrawals later. So, you've shifted your perspective, upgraded your communication, and started banking Goodwill. You're ready for 90% of customer interactions. But what about the real nightmare scenario? Here's the secret that legendary customer service professionals know. The most difficult customers are your greatest opportunity to build unshakable loyalty. Your advanced framework is listen, diffuse, solve, secure. Let's take a moment here to absorb what's on screen. Listen with laser focus. Not just to their words, but to their emotion. Active listening skills are the foundation of effective communication. Being totally focused on the words your customer is saying, understanding what those words mean, and responding in a manner that makes them feel heard and validated. When someone is angry, they need to be heard before they can hear you. Use the mirror and validate technique. I can hear how frustrated you are about this shipping delay, and I completely understand why that would be upsetting. Diffuse the emotional charge. Lower your voice slightly. Slow your speech. Use phrases like, I want to make this right instead of I'll try. The word try implies possible failure. They don't want your attempt. They want your commitment. Solve systematically. Break complex problems into simple steps. Explain what you're doing as you do it. I'm pulling up your account now. I can see the issue. Here's exactly what I'm going to do. Secure the relationship. This is where amateurs stop and professionals excel. After solving the immediate problem, ask, what could we do differently to make sure this doesn't happen again? Turn a complaint into improvement feedback. The telephone. Let's learn a bit more about the #1 contact point in customer service. Phone service is still king. 71% of Gen Z would now reach out to customer support via a live phone call. But phone interactions are twice as hard because you lose visual cues. Your voice becomes your entire presence. The 3-second rule. In the first 3 seconds of any call, your tone, pace, and energy level set the entire interaction's trajectory. Start with energy that matches theirs, then gradually guide them to where you want the conversation to go. If they're high energy and upset, match their urgency, but not their anger. I can hear this is really important to you. Let me jump right on this. All right, let's switch gears. So what happens when the customer is right and your own company is the one preventing the solution? You've listened perfectly. You've been empathetic. You've promised to help. But you send a request to the billing department and you get silence. You need a manager's approval, but they're locked in meetings for the next 6 hours. You've become an apologist for a broken process. Your communication skills mean nothing if you can't deliver. How do you serve the customer when you're being stonewalled by your own team? Welcome to the major leagues. This is where you evolve from a customer service rep to an internal diplomat. The mistake is thinking your coworkers and other departments care about your customers' feelings. They don't. They care about their own metrics, their own workflows, and their own headaches. To get their support, you must stop translating the customer's emotion and start translating the customer's impact. Don't say, I have a really angry customer who needs this fixed now. Say, I'm working to prevent a negative public review on the Johnson account, which is up for renewal next month. Can you help me get this billing error corrected so I can close the loop? One is a complaint. The other is a strategic request that aligns with their goals, reducing churn, protecting revenue, and avoiding public complaints that end up in their boss's inbox. Learn the language of the departments you rely on. This is also where you handle complaints systemically, whether they come from a customer or a coworker. Again, use the listen, diffuse, solve, secure method. Listen without interrupting. Diffuse by apologizing sincerely, not for the company, but for their experience. Solve the problem. Focus on the solution, not the blame. And finally, secure the relationship and thank them. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. The ultimate power move? Build alliances before a crisis. Take 5 minutes this week and learn the name of someone in billing. Ask them about their biggest bottleneck. Buy a coffee for someone in logistics. When you need a favor later, you won't be a faceless email signature. You'll be Alex from sales, the person who actually gets it. Your internal network is as important as your customer-facing skills. So let's recap the mission. You are not a glorified punching bag. You are a diplomat, a decoder, and a navigator. You succeed by abandoning the insider's view, mastering the art of listening and positive language, building a bank of goodwill, and most critically, learning to manage the organization behind you with the same skill you use to manage the customer in front of you. So here is your Launchpad challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to conduct an audit. First, identify and eliminate one verbal dead end from your vocabulary. That phrase you use that just stops the conversation. Banish it. Replace it with a phrase that creates momentum. Second, identify one person in a different department whose help is critical to your success. Your challenge is not to ask them for anything. It is simply to learn one metric they are judged on. That's it. Start with that. Move from being a passive shock absorber to an active problem solver. That is how you become indispensable. That is how you win.